All right, today we need to talk about the breaking news. Gannon Buhr's lawsuit is officially dropped. Who else but All-Too-World breaking the news once again. It has been 75 days since the start of this lawsuit ordeal, and it actually ends entirely unremarkably. It ends just how you would expect it to, based upon how the season has been going for Gannon, how everything is looked to be shaking out. Gannon will be remaining with Prodigy for the duration of the calendar year for 2023, basically meaning that Prodigy has reached a resolution with Gannon, and they no longer have any breach of contract concerns. And of course, in Prodigy's slightly dismissive fashion, they state, "We are continuing to fully support Gannon's rise to elite status in the sport of disc golf as we have for the past 6 years." And obviously that is totally dismissing all of Gannon Buhr's claims about how there was a breach of contract. There was a lot of things that they promised that they didn't actually follow through with. But all of that's kind of relative right now. There's clearly enough resolution for Gannon and Prodigy to resolve this whole ordeal. And I also think this is a best case scenario for Prodigy. Maybe not Gannon as much, but with his play being phenomenal, I think this just builds his overall repertoire for next year and getting that massive, massive contract with who I believe to be Discmania. But now that it's been a couple of months, I don't actually know if it'll still be Discmania, but whatever it is, Gannon will be getting paid, no doubt. And while there were no official settlement terms, I think it was definitely to be assumed that the resolution was in favor of Prodigy, and as how the original 2023 term will be finished out with Prodigy and Gannon. Definitely something worth mentioning is that Gannon will be having some merch that will have proceeds directly go towards him, not Prodigy, not any representative of Prodigy, not Signature Series discs, where Prodigy will get a cut of the sales. The way that I'm reading this is that Gannon will get 100% of the profits in whatever merch comes about. I assume it is probably not a Prodigy disc because that probably is a breach of contract, but I think it's probably like a clothing line or something along those terms, seeing as how he wore something similar in the All-Star event, I believe. And I think this is certainly important to note that essentially the disc manufacturer has won this case. So for future reference, if there is any issues with Innova, Discraft, or maybe even Prodigy again, they have a certain set of standards that they can point to and be like, hey, this is where you have done what you have promised for either player or company. And I think it is certainly a benchmark case proving that we need very, very strict and obvious statements in your contract that is not at all ambiguous, and it doesn't leave any room for, hey, I sent an email saying this, but that's actually not what I'm going to promise because it's not in writing in the contract. I think it's going to be a lot of hearsay and more so, this is what the contract says, this is what you must do for either party. I'm betting that that contract is probably a lot more fleshed out and does not leave any room for ambiguity because they do not want another situation like this. And definitely for any future players wanting to get sponsored by Prodigy or really any brand, they can point to these particular points that need to be fully fleshed out if you're trying to sign, because this is real money. This is not just like the olden days where you might get like 5K, 10K. This is going to be like a $10 million deal for some of these players, especially Gannon. So these terms need to be fully fleshed out, and I think that will definitely be the case for all of Prodigy's future endeavors because they do not want this press again. It has definitely damaged the brand as a whole, and I do not foresee them rebounding all that much in the short term, but it's definitely a matter of time. We'll just have to see how it ends. Let me know what you guys think about this lawsuit being officially dropped. I can't believe it took this long. I thought it might be done in like a couple weeks, but I think it was like 75 days. It really is crazy that the sport has gotten so big that we have lawsuits of real importance. So let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Wild Runs signing out. Peace.